I'm Dan Dykert. Thanks for joining us. Your weekly racing program here in western Wisconsin as the seasons start to really wind down at Mississippi Thunder Speedway and at the Crosse Speedway. 3 more nights at both tracks and then some different races. We've got some enduros and even destructions happening at La Crosse. We have a $100,000 weekend, the first weekend of September up at MTS in Fountain City on the dirt with a $20,000 to win race on a Saturday. And then we take a couple of weeks off, and then both tracks have their annual fall festivals. So we're going to talk more about that as the weeks come up here, as the weeks wind down. But we're going to start, as we normally do on the program, with your weekly La Crosse Speedway recap from last weekend. We're going to start things off with the late models on the 5/8 mile. And this was a really good race here because you had 4 of the strongest late models almost nose to tail for the last laps. As you see right here, this was after a late caution restart and the green flag flying. And Ty Majeski just passed Sean Paff on the back stretch to get the lead. Paff bobbled a bit, and that gave Steve Carlson the go-ahead to take the number 2 spot at the checkered flag. Ty Majeski had to lead this long chain around after he'd opened things up and stepped away from the field. And for Majeski, this was only win number 2 on a season that he has ran about 3/4 of the races at the La Crosse Speedway. As the checkered flag flies, it was Steve Carlson taking second, a very fast Sean Paff third, and Jeremy Wagner rounding out the top 5. Sean Paff said something had broken that car. You could hear it rattling as he pulled down to the front straightaway to accept that third place finish last Saturday night. So again, congratulations. Ty Majeski gets win number 2 on the year. To the sportsman we go. And there was 8 laps left in this one, and that's where all the excitement came about. Bad Brad Worthen had just taken the lead from Jeff Thompson. Nick Clements and Steve Bachman, of course, as they've done all year, except for Bachman being out for a couple of weeks, hard charging from the back and the middle of the pack. And you see here a couple of laps to go. Steve Bachman clears Nick Clements. He also gets past Bad Brad Worthen using the outside rail down the back out of turn 4, that is. And Bachman taking home his second feature win of the year. This is almost identical to the late models. Look at how fast these 4 are. You've got Bachman, you've got Bad Brad Worthen, and you've got Nick Clements. And then you also throw in Tony Lease. That was a 4-car jumble right here towards the end as the checkered flag flew. Jamie Dummer ended up rounding out the top 5. So 4 strong cars in the top 2 divisions getting things on last week at La Crosse Speedway. Let's go to the Thunder stocks, where during this race right here, kind of some deja vu to last year. Melissa Rusch, you'll see right there in the number 23 Mystery Machine. She gets spun around. Her wheel goes up under the car, comes back out. That's called a broken axle. Back to the action. Nathan One Car White brought the field back to the green from that caution. He had a tough task of holding off the hard-charging Andy Moore. Moore takes the lead. He ends up winning his 6th feature on the year so far. Nathan One Car White had to battle Bill Schott there for the number 2 position, while Caleb Hardy, Kyle Lockington, and Kayla Ray Lockington rounded out the top 5. And points are going to be awfully tight between Andy Moore, Jacinda Paff, and the 0-1 car, of course, Al Vian in the El Camino. That would be Charles Vian. That's going to come down to Oktoberfest race weekend. That crash there was really nothing compared to what you're about to see now as the Hornets came out. And this was a nasty 3-car pileup in turn number 2. We'll just let you watch the video, and I'll kind of explain. Hunter Miller gets through, then you've got a log jam, and the cars start going around and around. Look at that. Jake Chalmers up in the air, Kim Strom up in the air, Kyle Ritter up in the air. Just watch how these cars, there's Ritter right there. The Ford just about goes over as luckily Kim Strom's hood breaks off, because if it doesn't break off, Ritter goes over. He kind of slid down the car, and Ritter, Strom, and Chalmers had to watch the end of this race from the infield. To the last laps we go, though. That was a 10-minute break while those cars were being separated and cleaned up. Once the wreck was cleaned up, Chris Thunderberg in the number 25 Hornet found his way to the front, and he was the first one to see a checkered flag with a whole bunch of Hornets behind him. Hunter Miller, you had Tom Lethe, you had Kevin Turner, and you had Pat Tickey. Look at this. 3 of the 4 races we had La Crosse on Saturday night came down to 4 cars, and it was just a fun night to be calling races at the La Crosse Speedway. Hunter Miller trying to hold down to that number 2 spot as Tom Lethe, who won the feature a couple of weeks ago, was trying to hold off the hard-charging Kevin Turner, and Turner won a heat race earlier in the night. For Chris Thunderberg, this was, I understand, his first ever feature win in a Hornet. So congratulations goes out to Chris Thunderberg. To the Outlaws we go. Cole Schulze not at the racetrack Saturday night, so it left the door open for many other drivers, including a brand new pickup truck. A Midwest Touring Series truck showed up, and I think he had a top 5. Not a bad finish right there. On the Action Track quarter mile, it was Jason Bolster and Dakota Miller taking the green flag. Bolster takes the lead from Dakota Miller, who just got that car for David Cavan. Rod Lockington and Jason Stark hard charging to the front. Stark took the lead as Lockington had spun around. And for Jason Stark running for Kevin Qualheim, he'll take the checkered flag for his second feature win of the race season, and that's going to be an interesting race as the points just keep going back and forth, and that one's going to be settled at Oktoberfest as well. Next on the La Crosse Speedway event schedule, Friday night street drags on the front straight at the La Crosse Speedway. 6:45 the grudge racing starts. The brackets, about 15 of them, get it away at about 7:30. Then one of the most popular nights of the year at the Speedway, Saturday night, it is going to be Buck Night. Almost all concession items are $1. Beers are just $2. The racing is going to be great as well. You've got late model sportsman, Thunder stocks, the street stocks are back. The ever tight racing of figure eight racing on the front straightaway will get underway, and we've got pre-race kids rides. So if you plan on going, your kids been in a stock car, maybe never been in a stock car, and they want to run around the big track inside one of those cars with one of our great drivers, make sure you get them signed up in the souvenir stand as soon as you get to the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Coming up in segment number 2, we took to the front straightaway during Fan Photo Night a couple of weeks ago. Wanted to get in some drivers' conversations as we were just over the midway part of the racing season. And joining us in the next segment will be Thunderstock driver Melissa Rusch, Hornet driver Brandon Lemoyne, also late model driver John Eckelberg and the Eckelberg Racing Clan, and Billy Doc Niles. He retired 34 years ago, and we were kind of reflected back a little bit. Niles always liked the Fan Photo Night to get a chance to hand some stuff out, sign some autographs, and meet both the young and the old race fans. And we talk a little bit about what it was like to actually be holding a microphone for my radio show on WKTY instead of sitting down signing autographs. So that's coming up next. And we're going to get into the Mississippi Thunder Speedway as well. All of that on today's show here on KQEG TV.
Get ready for the Thunder!
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified.
600 mods.
Pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
Over $400 in rebates available on select American Standard systems. Call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
Some of our drivers down here. First off, the mystery machine is Melissa Rusch. Came on and got a win early this season. How are you?
Good.
So what do you got sticking out of your car right here? Because I know I've got a spot in my living room that would look fantastic in.
I have a 4-foot Olaf.
And what movie is that from?
Frozen.
Frozen. You know, I have not seen that yet.
Oh my God.
I know I have problems. Talk about your 2015 year. You spent quite a time putting this car together, and you've had some success.
Yeah, the beginning of the year was awesome, and then we had to do some changes, and then now it's just a bumpy ride, but we're getting back up on it, and I have a lot of sponsors to thank for that.
Talk about them.
Well, I have my major sponsor, Kevin Qualheim. I wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for him. And then I have JB in Auto Repair. He helps me out with tires and everything. And then I have Puppy Pros. They helped too, in a way. And then I have Snap Fitness. They gave me a few things this year too, and I've donated them to a few people too.
It's been a nice Thunderstock class here this year so far. Some very, very competitive racing.
Yes, very much. It seems like it's getting tougher. Well, I've only raced it for 2 years, so it seems a little harder this year than it was last year, actually.
You still got half the year to go, though.
Yeah, we do.
All righty. Brandon, we talked to you during the very open practice this year, one of the very first nights, back when it was kind of chilly. So I like the haircut, like the car. Talk about your season.
It's been an up and down season so far. We've battled the same issue all year. We've been finishing where we can, and we're sitting fourth in points, and it's going pretty smooth, trying to get it figured out.
Fourth in points, and a lot of jockeying went on last time we were out here, a lot of shifting of the points. And everybody knows you're sitting in the top 10 in points to Oktoberfest. Everyone still has a shot.
Yeah, that's my goal, is coming to an Oktoberfest to have a shot at taking it all.
So talk about the 88. You said you were battling the same problems. So what has that been?
Car's just been getting too hot. I've had to pull up and get some clean air, and that way the car would cool down a little bit, and losing a few spots, but not blowing it up and getting what I could out of a hot car.
Very competitive Hornet field. Actually have 3 more new ones coming out here tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty competitive. We got a lot of guys that, are fighting strong and running clean as we can and just battling it out.
You get a chance to continually follow in your footsteps with your sister behind you.
Yeah, Dad's been racing for 28 years. He's retiring after this season, so it'll be a little bit different not having him out here on the racetrack, but he'll still be around. And
I was going to say, you cannot keep him out of this racetrack once he retires.
No, he'll be around, and every once in a while I'm sure he'll get the itch and get back out here once in a while. But he'll be helping Mandy and I and keeping the family tradition moving.
You know, a couple of things, of course. You've had some outstanding races side by side with your dad this year. I can think of at least 5 or 6 right off the bat. But watching your sister plow drive into the turn 4 wall earlier this year, just one of those family times where racing just went to the back of your head.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a scary start to the season. Dad and I actually were lined up for our feature when it happened, and so we didn't see the actual impact, just that we heard about it and that she was okay, and that's what our main concern was, that she was all right. And you don't think about how much you have to fix when something like that happens, just that everyone's all right.
And talk about your mom behind the scenes as well. Kim doesn't get enough credit. I make fun of her every now and then in a microphone and have cocktails with her, but I'll tell you what, you talk about a driving force, and somebody get some duct tape for Billy Doc Niles' mouth, please. Without Mom down here, this Eckelberg racing team doesn't stay together like it does.
No, she certainly holds us together like glue, and she does a lot behind the scenes between creating all the lettering for all 3 cars, as well as many other cars out here on the track. And she's there supporting us each and every week, whether from the stands or if we need her in the pits, she's there helping with whatever she can.
I know she's waiting for the nickname, but I'm not going to do it because this is fan photo, and I love you guys. What are you giving away down here? Well, first off, you're going to be cooking some brats tomorrow.
Yeah, come on out to Festival Foods in Holman tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. We're having our annual brat fry over there. Festival's one of our sponsors. They've been with us quite a few years now. So we'll be over there having our fundraiser. We'll have at least one of the race cars over there for people to come check out. And hopefully we've got some good weather for it.
I heard Bill Niles was buying everybody the first round of brats tomorrow from 10 until noon. Every single one was going with the Bill Niles Brat Fund. All right. Billy Doc Niles, I tell you what, you and I talked about this morning, about what it would be like for you not signing autographs for the first time in 34 years. And you said, yeah, you can kind of take it and whatnot, but now that you're down here, it's got to be kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, this is fun, being with the fans. This is the cool part of probably one of the cool things of the summer is the drivers get to do all this. Like, see Mandy's got all the freezies there. You got the bikes down there. All kinds of giveaways. The Eckelbergs, I think they're giving away a Bristol trip too. This is the cool part, just getting to be with the fans. And like I said on the radio show, you give me a lot of crap for sitting in a chair for all those years, but I'd rather be sitting in a chair face-to-face with Junior like this instead of staring down on him like that. It seems to be a little more personal that way, but this is, and look, we have no rain this year for the first time in how many years on a fan photo night.
And we were talking about the vintage cars. I think they have close to 18. It's something that we haven't seen even at Oktoberfest for many years. It's got to kind of make you feel flashbacky when you walk up and down and see all of these different styles of vintage cars.
This is sweet. I mean, from Rossier's Camaro, which looked pretty fast. You got an AMX, Kenny Lewis with that Hooters Mustang, all different types. I'm getting yes, I'm ignoring you back there. All different types of vehicles that, like even some vintage names, like I said, Rossi or Kenny Hutchins, Bobby Lee in the Jim Johnson car, Charlie Schwalk in the Mark Martin car. All kind of this is really cool. We get to see it tonight, and lucky for us, we get to see it at Oktoberfest too.
All righty, Billy Doc now is going to hear some more of his interviews he gets with me down in the pits tonight on the 580 WKTY Race Report. Thanks, Billy.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll get a freezy now.
Get ready for the Thunder.
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modifieds,
600 mods.
pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder.
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
Over $400 in rebates available on select American Standard systems. Call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
Welcome back to the program. I want to thank those drivers for joining me during Fan Photo Night at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Also a neat note, all 3 quick-time qualifiers won races at La Crosse this past Saturday night. To the dirt track we go, Mississippi Thunder Speedway in Fountain City, the first of final of 4 regular season points paying events in 2015. The month of August completing the regular season. 2 big events coming up in September, and of course Fall Fest in October. Let's get you to the rewind reel, and we're going to start things off with the USRA Modifieds on what a great night. The track was fantastic, the racing even better. There is the flat black number 24. That's Brad Waits. It wasn't as easy as it has been in weeks past for him to get a race win right here, but lap traffic played into the finish as both Brad Waits and Lucas Schott forced to pick and choose how, when, and where they were able to get through this lap traffic. For Waits, it was down low out of turn 4. That you're going to see that brought that flat back number 24 to the number 1 position in front of Schott, and that locked up the finishing order. Look at that. Can't even see him coming into turn 4. I love the flat black on that car. I say that every single weekend. Waits enjoyed the win. Sean had to settle for second after getting the big money win a couple of weeks ago. Jake Tim, Keith Foss, and Josh Anks rounded out the top 5. To the USRA B-Mods we go. Nice collection of cars, some different names coming in. Some of them getting their feet wet for that $100,000 weekend coming up here in a couple of weeks. This one was down to Eric Cans, Parker Hale, and Ben Modry. They ended up in a 3-wide duel for the lead and the eventual win, with Cans using the high line and Modry tucked right down to the bottom of the banking. It was Parker Hale picking up back-to-back wins, with Modry finishing second, Cans settling for third. Casey Knudsen, another nice run. He ends up 4th, and third heat race winner Lucky John Van Minsel rounded out the field. And this one was a very, very tight race. No lap traffic, just a lot of acceleration as Hale picks up back-to-back wins. Remember, he got that big $1,000 to win race just a couple of weeks ago. To the USRA Limited Late Models, I love this class. It's going to continue to grow over the next 3 weeks here at MTS and then even get bigger next year. Current point leader Lance Hofer raced his way forward Friday night en route to another USRA Limited Late Model feature win to help his efforts to be crowned the very first late model track champion. Again, this is the first year we've ran these. Tom Rank enjoyed a strong run in his number 77, but came up just 1 position short of his first feature win. He crosses the finish line in second ahead of multi-time feature winner Justin Sauce. Kurt Lumen and Bob Ford drove 2 heat race wins in the limited late models. And of course, Hofer right there, not really getting any kind of a challenge on Friday night. Let's go to the next race, which was a touring series. We had 24 600 mods that were visiting the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, along with our local drivers that were coming from Decorah. They were coming from Upper Iowa. They were all over the place. This was a good night of racing. Kurt Lumen, who we just talked about in the USRA Limited Late Models, stepped out of the late model right into his 600 mod and had the same success. Battling through the field, Lumen collected the Touring Series $300 feature win, along with the Kyle Jumbeck bounty bonus after Jumbeck suffered his first DNF of the year. Jumbeck won his own bounty last week, didn't finish this race here. So Kurt Lumen picks up the extra $150. $450, not a bad night. Brad Kramer's second heat race winner. Chris Gilbertson finishing second ahead of Jake Siezeski to Troy Soini completed the top 5. So nice to pick up a nice regular payday, the Touring Series payday, and the bounty payday for Kurt Lumen. So Minnesota Superstock Division, the Tommy Richards show rolls on. This guy, we've watched him start dead last, second to last, middle of the pack, on the pole to start the features, and nobody can stop the 7R. It's some nice racing behind Tommy Richards, but in the end, he's going to go one more lap around on the third mile. He's going to pick up his 9th feature win of the 2015 season. He finishes ahead of Dan Isalki and first heat race winner Jeff Brower. Now, the track record for wins in the history of MTS is 11. One of 2 drivers are trying to knock that number off this year. Richard stands at 9, and with a couple of races left, he has a chance to break the record at MTS. And there's another driver that could tie him for that record in a different class we'll talk about here in a minute. MTS Sportsman continues to produce some good old-fashioned side-by-side racing, no matter what you brought out. And for Derek Sutton, number 33 Grocery Getter Mafia station wagon, he was on a rail on what seemed to be a slower night for him getting through the heat races. You see the battling going on behind the Grocery Getter. But in the end of here, with 1 to go, Derek Sutton will be shown the checkered flag for the 4th time this race season. This was a good one to call, as Jeremy Oaks almost caught Sutton down the back straightaway. Oaks had to finish in 2nd, Jordan Becker 3rd. First time MTS visitor Adam Spriker, that is, finished 4th ahead of Kyle Solberg, and Spriker came out and dominated the field in his heat race. So to the MTS Hornet division we go. Johnny Sievertson, a clean sweep. And Sievertson, one of those drivers trying to tie or break the track record of wins. We're going to show you Sievertson getting that domination on the track. Again, he won both his heat race and the feature. He's upped his feature win count to an astounding 10 this season alone. So now Richards has 9. He's got to win out to try to tie what Sievertson can do. If Sievertson wins out, Sievertson gets the track record, as he would have 14 on the season. And the guy that owns the track record, Johnny Sievertson, he got 11 back in 2009. Dan Purcell and the second heat race winner Scott Hayden finished 2nd and 3rd in this race. And I tell you, there's some Hornet cars coming out. It's about $1,000 to win a Hornet race coming up next weekend at MTS. Look them up on Facebook, contact the racetrack. Bonuses during the race. They're going to have several different categories. We have a chance to win cash. It's the first annual Harmston Trucking $1,000 to win Hornet race at MTS. Again, that's coming up in 2 weeks. Matter of fact, Harmston Trucking is taking over the naming rights of the Hornet division at MTS next year. Coming up on Friday night, it is the hunt for the Casey's Cup back in the area. All U.S. MTS. The road to the national championship runs through this area for the next 3 shows in Wisconsin and Minnesota. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday program for the USMTS. Friday sees the Modified Masters at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Then they're going to be heading north to Ogilvie, Minnesota to round out their weekend as the hunt continues all the way through October. When we come back, we're going to show you the last part of that big 600 Mod Touring Series feature event, which Kurt Lumen picked up 3 different paydays. That's going to be next on 7 Rivers Racing.
Get ready for the Thunder.
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modifieds,
600 mods.
pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder.
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
Over $400 in rebates available on select American Standard systems. Call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
You're in line for $50.
Speaking of cash, we got our, will this be our final update then? All right, here's the final update for our 50-50 drawing. We challenged you to get it up to $500 and you did it. Then Dan challenged you to get it up to $600 and you did it. Winners share tonight $650 with a 50-50 drawing, and of course that means $650 going home with the fine folks at the Ridgeway PTA group. And we'll be doing the drawing right after this 600 mod feature.
You know what also that means is it's like $115 to send these kids for 2 days to an environmental camp in September.
Nice.
And that just darn near paid for 6 of them to go, so that's outstanding.
Well done, race fans. Thank you so much for the way you support our 50-50 beneficiaries every single night we're here at the track. Again, we'll do the drawing right after this 600 mod feature is done. We'll draw the ticket as I'm making my way down to Victory Lane to talk to our feature winner. So make sure you're paying attention once the checkered flag flies at the conclusion of this Liquid Nitro 600 Mod Touring Series feature. Kurt Lumen takes us back to green flag conditions. Brad Kramer and Chris Gilbertson staying with him. Lumen stretching the advantage almost immediately up to 4 car lengths as they head into turn number 3 under the Dahl Chevrolet billboard. Soini in the 96 very quietly working his way up to the number 4 spot.
You know, has looked very, very impressive too as the youngster in that Quattro, Jake Cizeski, as he now not only passes his father, but he's going for the points leader.
Yeah, he's leaving the old man in the dust, isn't he? He's headed towards the front.
Number 5 position now for young Cizeski.
Unfortunately, John Griffin headed the wrong direction. He was battling for the lead. He's now out of the top 5. The 88 of James was off the pace for a bit on the back straightaway. He's dropped to the tail end of the field in the H&M entry.
Look at that. You got a young Cizeski in front of Father Bob and a young Cizeski behind Father Bob.
It's a dear old dad sandwich.
Boy, how's that for some chatter when you go home? Hey, Dad, you can't punish me because I beat you by 2 car lengths last night.
Lumen gets the 2 to go signal. 2 laps remaining.
Looks like whoever has Frisbee number 7, you got 4 left turns in the front straight to go before you're $50 richer. Checkered flag is in hand. He waited until the last 5 laps to do this. That's win. So Kurt Lumen of Rushford, Minnesota will get some points in the 600 Liquid Nitro Series. He'll get the extra $150 in the case of Liquid Nitro from their sponsor.
Welcome back one more time. I want to thank you for watching our program today. Buck Night coming up at the Crosse Speedway Saturday night, street drags on Friday, and the U.S. MTS Hunt for the National Championship Casey's Cup is at MTS on Friday. The points are getting close. Check out LacrosseSpeedway.com, MississippiThunder.com. I'm going to have a lot of these drivers on my AM 580 WKTY Race Report show coming up on Saturday as Bill Niles has a couple blasts from the past as well. That'll do it for this week. I'm Dan Dyker. Thanks for joining us on 7 Rivers Racing.
Oh, here we go!